I thought that this knowledge which I have gained, I should utilize for the upgradation or for improving the standard of research and teaching at my country, India. How they are helping the poor, needy people. And I saw all the activities which your ACL group is doing. So I was really impressed. And then I also requested that I also want to join in some or other group. Lack of knowledge is there. As for thyroid disease, there are so many areas they are endemic for thyroid, and they think that we are adding iodized salt, and
Right.
now we are safe. But actually, nobody tells them that this salt is you have to use it as table salt. If you are adding the salt, iodized salt during cooking, then it is lost, it is evaporated, and you don't get any iodine. So the diabetes है तो हमने मीठा नहीं खाना बंद कर दिया, रोटी तो हम चाहे I can eat 10 chapatis, but they don't know that this starch has so many glucose molecules.
In short, you mean that people have to gain proper knowledge about what they are doing before they start any treatment by themselves.
I always tell them for innovation, do some innovation. Just not copy some other research doing some here and there modifications. So innovation. And secondly, I wanted the research projects which can be of help for public, society and our nation.
Hello everyone, welcome to our very special show Spotlight. I am Soumya Agrawal and you are watching ACL Bharat. As we always promise that in our Spotlight episodes we'll bring you such personalities who's working for the betterment of our nation. Such personality I have with me today is Dr. Veena Singh. Let's begin our conversation and get to know more about her. Welcome to our show, ma'am.
Thank you very much. At the outset, I will like to thank the ACL family for providing me this great opportunity to serve the suffering humanity, and that too needy and poor patients. So specifically, I want to thank Madhu Bansal. She is my very close friend, rather like sister, I can say, younger sister. She introduced me for this ACL, and then I was all the time interested for social service. So I immediately agreed and started telemedicine.
So I'd like to begin my first question with that. So you got, how did you exactly got to know about ACL and what inspired you to join ACL?
As I said, Madhu only introduced me about this, that how they are helping the poor, needy people. And I saw all the activities which your ACL group is doing. So I was really impressed. And then I also requested that I also want to join in some or other group.
So how long has it been since you joined ACL?
I think 2 years must be, 1.5 or 2
And
years.
how
Not
is
very old.
and how
So
has
I'm
your
really
experience been so
I'm
far?
enjoying doing this telemedicine. If somebody is in pain and you relieve the misery or pain, then it gives satisfaction, lot of satisfaction, not only to patient but to doctor, more to a treating doctor.
So how has your experience been so far joining ACL? What have you seen? What changes have you seen that stays with you, that connects you with ACL?
Earlier, when I started, the app was not very friendly, but now they have made lot of changes. This is very, very friendly immediately, because we are not very high tech. At now, computers and youngsters, they are expert. But even then, I am not facing any problem with this ACL app, the Arogya app.
So you said that you pursue telemedicine, right? So my question is somewhere regarding to that. Like, can you elaborate on your academic journey, like from obtaining your MBBS in 1978 to becoming the head of the Department of Biochemistry at Rohtak? So how has that journey been? Can you elaborate on that?
Actually, my mother, father, both motivated me for medical profession. My mother did that Ayurveda Charya from Rishikesh. Rishikesh, that is Ayurvedic that degree she, and just think of it, 40s. She used to stay there in the Rishikesh Gurukul Kangdi, and from there she did the Ayurveda Charya course. And then she used to treat our many small medical problems. She used to treat using herbal products. And then I was also inspired, and I decided that I will become doctor. Since that time, I started hard work. And first attempt, I cracked that pre-medical entrance test, but the family was joint family, and that time my uncle and they said that this is not in our tradition, family tradition, that daughter female will study in co-education. They refused, but my father took stand, and that is why I got this admission in medical college. During internship, I got married, and after completion, then after marriage, I completed my internship, and after that shifted to Haryana, and decided to do post graduation. And I joined post graduation in biochemistry department. And after that, after finishing my post graduation, I joined as a faculty assistant professor, and then crossing all the hurdles, I became the head of the department in 2002.
Okay, so you just mentioned that you crossed the hurdles. So what exactly were the hurdles? Can you tell us about some of the hurdles?
Every time you have to show your merit, what you have done, interviews and competitions, so many things they are there, and you have to.
So you said that आपको बहुत सारे hurdles face करने पड़े. You had to go through a lot of challenges. So do you think that being a woman, you had to face more challenges, या फिर it was overall कि मतलब सबको ही ऐसे challenges face करने पड़ते हैं?
Yes, because when I was doing post graduation, my elder son, now he is professor, he was 6 months old. So that was also a challenge. You have to look after your family. So everything, and simultaneously you have to prove your merit and worth here in the department also.
So how supportive has your family been in this journey?
Just because of their support, my husband, he is also doctor. He is physician. He did MD medicine. So he was very supportive. My mother-in-law also was very supportive. She stayed with me during that time, all the time of my studies.
That's nice. That's really supportive. So I heard that you have completed your training in molecular biology from University of Wales, right? So do you think that played a major role in your career, as in studying it from outside rather than here? So did it play a major role in your career?
Yes, molecular biology is a study of disease at molecular level.
Right.
So I did this training in 89. That time here in India, we used to just read in books that PCR is some equipment is there, this technique is there. So only books, theoretical knowledge we had. But when I joined there, Wales University, everything was practical. We used to extract DNA, we used to multiply it with PCR. So it was so interesting with Dr. Campbell, a very well-known personality. I worked under Dr. Campbell, and it gave me a lot of confidence, and I learned so many things working with Dr. Campbell. And this training, after that also, it helped me a lot, because then I started molecular biology lab in my department also, and it helped patients for their diagnosis, treatment at every level. So not only my career, but for patient care also, it helped a lot.
You said that while studying in University of Wales, there was like practical knowledge more than theoretical knowledge, right? So, do you think that in India there is more theory knowledge rather than practical knowledge? What do you say about that?
Yes, that is
And why
the
do you
problem.
think that happens?
Yes, and now we are, as now NMC also has a lot of changes they have made in this curriculum designing, etc. And now they are trying to implement more of practical knowledge, more, so that the otherwise what happens that if you are just reading in books and imagining things, so understanding is not very clear. Also.
Right. Practical knowledge is important.
Is important when you are doing practicals, hands-on training is very important.
Right, that's right. So, what motivated you to specialize in biochemistry? Because it's not an easy field, we must agree to that. So, what motivated you to specialize in biochemistry?
Yes, the biochemistry means chemical changes in health and disease in biological system. So,
Right.
any change due to some disease or will be detected by the biochemist. So this helps in early diagnosis and early treatment, and you can prevent the irreversible damages. So that is why I referred this branch. And most of the things, like take the example of diabetes. If some patient is suffering from diabetes, the first and most easiest way is to take blood sample and analyze the sample for blood sugar. Immediately you will come to know, but the symptoms and they take time, months or years.
Right.
If you are doing these biochemical follow-ups, checkups regularly, you can prevent many diseases at early stage.
But do you think that this biochemistry per se is still being opted by students, or do you think that the number of students opting for biochemistry has gone down in India specifically?
You are very right, because students now they are money minded, I can say. So this branch is not as for practice like other branches.
Not too much money.
Not too much money. So, and secondly, the research funds, they are very less in India. When I was there in Wales, I used to order reagents, anything. I was there for 1 year. In spite of this, but here it is so difficult to get things. So many approvals, and that is why the good research and this high quality is lacking because of the availability of equipment, funds. So if we improve on this side, definitely the youngsters, they will try to join. Now, as in medical, so many medical colleges are opening, and here also the demand for MD biochemistry has increased. So last year I have seen many PGs, they have opted for MD biochemistry. So now gradually they are trying to join.
Participating. Okay. So like you, since you studied in University of Wales, so you had a chance to settle there, as in not come back to India and then work here. So why didn't you stay there, and why did you come to choose, why did you choose to come back to India?
I thought that this knowledge which I have gained, I should utilize for the upgradation or for improving the standard of research and teaching at my country, India. So I came back because my brother, you are very right, my guide, Dr. Campbell, many times he requested that you stay back, do PhD here. Very good future you will. But I said no, I will go back. My husband and we both came back. My husband was also there. He that time did fellowship training on bone marrow transplant. So we both were there. But we then came back and started.
So was it a mutual decision? Was it a mutual decision to come back of you and your husband?
Yes,
or what was it?
It was mutual decision. Yes.
So was it easy? I mean, since you studied from there and then you came here, so was there any challenges you had to face after coming to India?
Actually, that time I was already in permanent job. I was faculty here at the PGIMS Rohtak. So this was study leave. have taken study leave and then I went there. So then there's no problem. Again, I came back and joined the same. But there also I got lot of opportunities. I could have resigned and job opportunities were there also. But we both preferred to come back.
You wanted to give something back to India.
Yes.
So earlier you mentioned that you have established various labs at PGIMS specifically. So can you highlight the significance of those labs you have established there? Like how will it impact on patient care and postgraduate teaching specifically?
So when I became the head of the department, I observed that most of the PGs, they are just reading all these things theoretically on books. They have never seen these instruments, even PCR machine. They have not seen, they have just seen the picture, book picture only. And same with other technologies. So then I established various labs like molecular biology lab. And this lab, it was helpful for curing so many patients, cancer patients and blood cancer patients. As you must have heard this PCR importance during corona time. Now cancer cell, if only one cancer cell is there, you cannot detect. But if you put that cell in PCR, it will multiply. And then many copies they are there and you can easily detect it. So this PCR lab, our lab, helped in early diagnosis of cancer and then treatment, because all the diseases, as I said, is start from molecular level. So DNA is the main molecule which has all the informations, and then genes. So most of the diseases, it is genes, they play very important role, and next to it is environment and the lifestyle. So if you detect the gene defect, mutation or some defect in gene, nowadays we have technologies, that is gene therapy. We can alter the gene, we can replace the gene, or we can inhibit that gene. We have got inhibitors also. So that way it helps a lot. Then different labs like HPLC lab, this is high performance liquid chromatography. So this is a technique by which we can monitor drug level. Now if we have given some drug to a patient, whether the effective level is there in blood or not, the level, the required level is there or toxic level is there, so immediately we can check and we can adjust the dose. Chemiluminescence lab, lot of help. This is the most sensitive and accurate method, and by this we have we used to study the different tumor markers for early diagnosis of cancer. The blood, some chemicals, they leak out in the blood, they are very specific for diagnosis. Also, like anemia, what is our general opinion? That if iron is deficient, then it is anemia. But this is not the truth. We have to analyze B12 level, folic acid level, and accordingly we have to treat. But what we do generally, we keep on giving iron, and this leads to toxicity, organ damage. So all these things, these labs, our PGs also got benefited. They used to work on these high-tech equipments, and their thesis also I have given based on these equipments. Fluoride lab, it was helpful, and we have diagnosed so many cases of because we used to take in Haryana, many villages even now they drink groundwater, and many places the fluoride level is very high. They don't know about this, and then they suffer from disabilities. So we have done the survey, fluoride lab, checked the fluoride level of water and educated the people that drink tap water, don't drink groundwater, because this is rich in fluoride. And once you got this damage, this is irreversible.
So you said that, like you mentioned anemia. Okay, you said that people don't have a clear idea. उनको लगता है iron deficiency है, so that is the reason behind anemia. But there are a lot of other things that affects anemia. So, what do you think? Is it because of lack of knowledge that people have, or is it because lack of resources that people think कि उनके दिमाग में जो बैठ गया कि मुझे ये है, मतलब डायबिटीज है तो मतलब मुझे सिर्फ चीनी कम करना है, उसमें अलग फैक्टर्स भी होते हैं. So, what do you have to say about that? Any tips that the generation today, or the
Lack of
people have to
knowledge.
follow?
Lack of knowledge is there. As for thyroid disease, there are so many areas they are endemic for thyroid, and they think that we are adding iodized salt, and
Right.
now we are safe. But actually, nobody tells them that this salt you have to use it as table salt. If you are adding this salt, iodized salt, during cooking, then it is lost, it is evaporated, and you don't get any iodine. So this type of knowledge. Secondly, people think that, as you said, the diabetes है तो हमने मीठा नहीं खाना बंद कर दिया, रोटी तो हम चाहे I can eat 10 chapatis, but they don't know that this starch has so many glucose molecules.
Right.
So this type of knowledge we have to provide, that one starch provides millions of glucose molecules.
That's right. So, you mean that, in short, you mean that people have to gain proper knowledge about what they are doing before they start any treatment by themselves, right?
As I have mentioned in my CV, I used to give many health-based interviews and discussions on this All India Radio also I have given, and
Okay.
question answer sessions also I have attended, many questions, rural areas where they used to ask questions. So I have tried to do this, but even now many areas they are lacking behind for this. We should do. Even this aspect also we can add for our this ECAL project.
So, I think I'll just ask this one more question before we conclude. So, as a guide, I mean, I'll take you as a guide for PhD and MD students. So, what principles do you emphasize in research and academic mentorship?
I always tell them for innovation, do some innovation. Just not copy some other research doing some here and there modifications. So innovation. And secondly, I wanted the research projects which can be of help for public, society and our nation.
So this was Dr. Veena Singh, who is an active social worker and the HOD at Private Medical College. In this conversation, we had heard about Dr. Singh's will to give back to the nation. We can see, we can hear that how she has missed the opportunities and chose to stay at India and do betterment for the nation. And we can also hear about the tips to take care of our health and many more. So that's it for today. We'll meet you next week with more such personalities. Till then, stay tuned with our channel and keep watching ECAL Bharat.